Hey, didn't see you there. Just got done watching Starve Acre on Shudder. So the movie stars Matt Smith, and it's about this family that lives on this rural farm, and their son starts hearing this strange whistling noise coming from a tree on the property. And it's about as dumb as it sounds. This is a movie exploring grief. It's attempting to be a folk horror movie. That's the way it's marketed. And I'm not even joking. This movie might be setting records. My interest was waning within like 15 seconds. That's gotta be a new record. Because the film cold opens with this poem. It's very old English. It's got an old English font. Think of like what John Hancock's signature looks like. And it just plays over the screen with this melodramatic music, ugly, faded picture. And that's how the movie starts off. So I instantly had the tone set in my head like, oh, going to be one of these type of movies. And from that point on, this movie had an uphill battle of winning over my attention, and I'm not going to lie, this movie was made for insomniacs. This movie's attempting to be a throwback to like 50s, 60s British horror movies, mystery films, and in doing so, they choose to use this incredibly ugly, grainy overlay to everything that's filmed in this movie. It's a well-made movie technically, it sounds good, it looks good, but the picture itself was ugly as shit in my opinion. I could not stand looking at this movie. I think it's a stylistic choice, maybe other people will like it more than me. I thought this movie was just hideous to look at, so it annoyed me off the first scene again. And I don't know where this movie was filmed, but it feels like it was filmed in the back of a library, because it's almost like they had a clause in all of the actors' contracts. Nobody could speak over a 2 out of 10 volume. It's like they had a bet who could have the least vocal inflection in this entire movie. Imagine every single scene that you have to sit through in an incredibly slow film goes exactly like this. Getting really worried about him. Don't know why he's acting like that.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
That's the way they sound, that's the way they look. No body language, no vocal inflection, just boring. Every single scene. 90 minutes feels like 9 hours. And about a minute ago, I already described what this movie's about, but that's about 10% of what this movie is. The other 90% of this film is just people staring off into space, giving pointless monologues. Dialogue in this movie is about as interesting as watching paint dry. If there's any redeeming quality to this movie whatsoever, I guess it has Matt Smith in it. I don't really know any of his previous work, but I can tell he's a pretty decent actor for what he was given. I don't know the other woman from anything in this, so I don't have anything to relate her work to. Again, she's plausible, but I mean, the bar is set so low with this. And this just felt like a movie to me that wanted to be so much more than it actually is. Don't even get me started on the pacing of this film. You could have been locked in solitary confinement for the last 20 years, and if you watch this movie, you will have your patience tested. This movie moves at a snail's pace. It really felt to me like there was about 5 different elements to this film they wanted to blend together, and they didn't know how to do it, and you can feel it. It's like they wanted it to be that old school British film, so they used that ugly overlay, and then they wanted it to be a very slow burn mystery, so there's really nothing going on in this. And then they wanted it to be a folk horror movie, but then it's kind of a metaphorical folk horror movie, so that doesn't land either. So if you guys can't tell, I could probably keep ranting about this movie because I did not enjoy it whatsoever. Again, be warned with this one, the way it's marketed. This movie is incredibly slow. Snails laugh at this movie. Not a movie I would revisit. I thought this movie was boring. I thought it was pointless. I thought it was mundane. I thought it looked hideous. Most likely an easy contender for the bottom 10 list at the end of the year. I thought Starve Acre was dog shit. So if you guys got duped into watching this like me, comment down below, let me know what you thought, or let me know what your favorite folk horror movie is. I actually liked them quite a bit, just feels like we never get any good ones. And as always, join me down below, subscribe. I love talking movies with you. I will see you in the next review. Peace!